Oh my gosh, everyone. Hello. I am sorry for not being able to move along with this series about the moon sign and the life path more quickly. I'm not sure if it's just because I am in a funk and I'm not able to get my stuff together and get the ball rolling, or if I can blame my ADHD. But either way, I hope I haven't been disappointing you, and thank you for still clicking on the video. But today we are here to talk about Moon in Gemini's life path. So what I love about this series is that it helps us understand how we are different from our friends and our family, and why some of their decisions might seem a little bit odd to us. And I feel like it's going to help us respect and honor their path and their life decisions a little bit more. So that's the point of this series. So Moon in Gemini, one common thing I seem to notice about their early upbringing is that a lot of them come from families that have split custody. So they might have gone back and forth between two parents. They might have gone back and forth between a parent and a grandparent. But in some way, as a child, it seems like the responsibilities were being shared in a way that was back and forth rather than consistently together and consistently two or more people working at one. Seems like there was like some switching back and forth. There might have been a little bit of moving back and forth, and a lot of them end up feeling like in some way their upbringing was perhaps a little bit unstable. So the great thing about their personality is I do find them to be, in my opinion, pretty stable people. And they're people who might deal with a lot of changes and a lot of being uprooted, and their life might seem, what is it called, like tumultuous or whatever. I'm imagining, some kind of like natural weather pattern that causes changes and that causes certain things to be removed, but then, new things to always come in. It seems like there's always something new coming in, and, always some baggage from the past that's being moved away. So I do feel like that's something that people with Moon in Gemini are really good at. They're really good at, not getting stuck. To me, it seems like they're not getting stuck in a pattern, like they're able to keep things moving in their life, and they're always willing to try something different. They're very adaptable. And what's interesting about their particular type of adaptability is that sometimes it causes them to also make a lot of sacrifices. So like when they're in a relationship and they think this is what my partner wants, they think they can absolutely do it. Whether it's that their partner wants them to be a stay-at-home housewife, or their partner wants them to move across the country or try something that they've never tried before, from what I see, they're usually willing to do it. And this, to a lot of people, would seem like some kind of huge sacrifice, but I think to some extent to them, they might see it as a challenge. They might see it as an adventure, and they're always kind of willing to expand their idea about who exactly they are, what their role is. They have, I would say, a fluid, moving self-image that allows them to be so adaptable. But a lot of other people will look at this and they'll think that it means that Moon in Gemini either doesn't really have any deep emotions, or they might feel like they're too surface level, or they might assume that Moon in Gemini is less authentic simply because they're willing to try so much variety and to make so many different types of changes throughout their life. So a lot of people might feel that Moon in Gemini lacks depth. Now, I don't think this is true. And one thing that I particularly enjoy about Moon in Gemini is the deep conversations, talking about philosophical stuff, talking about history, talking about human behavior and what has caused other people to be the way that they are and act the way that they are, and really being able to analyze things, and especially being able to analyze people, because I'm an astrologer and I love analyzing people, and I could talk about that all night. But yeah, a lot of people feel that, since this person is not demanding about what they want, they're not forceful about what they want in the way that so many of us are. A lot of us look at that and we think that it means that they must not want it as deeply. And maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. But I think they're able to change and readjust what they want and appreciate having variety in life, appreciating having a variety of different experiences. And they're willing to try something, and even if they don't like it, they give it up. They admit that it's not for them and they move on. Now, I have seen them work towards long-term goals and become very successful in their careers as well. So I don't really think they have a short attention span. A lot of times they give off the impression that they made an impulsive decision, like they made a spur of the moment decision and something just changed instantly, something just changed with no warning. And I think that's the way it seems on the outside a lot of times. But for them, it's usually something that they've been thinking about for a pretty long time. And it took them a long time to finally decide that this was the decision that was right for them. So just because you don't see all of those internal thoughts doesn't mean that they weren't there. And I think they do take other people's feelings into consideration. Sometimes they feel guilty and they try to figure out, how they can do what's right for other people and also do what's right for them and just figure out what the best answer is. But, playing off of the Gemini twins aspect, the good twin and the bad twin, there's one twin that's like, this might hurt other people, I shouldn't do it. And then there's another twin that says, I really need to do it, and I can't sit here making sacrifices my whole life based on the way that other people feel. And that might be like the bad or, socially unacceptable, or the twin that we all choose to judge more. But I don't think there's anything inherently wrong in all of us doing what is right for us. But my personal opinions aside. They do take a long time to make these decisions and to try to make sure that they are doing the right thing for themselves and for others. Now, I did take some notes because there's a lot of things that I want to say about Moon and Gemini. And I want to make sure that I don't actually forget any of the important things that I wanted to say. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to say, and another thing I think confuses other people about Moon and Gemini, is they tend to have a good poker face. And it's not even just about them playing poker. It's not even about them intentionally lying, although some of them might choose to intentionally lie, but they are hard to read. And when we look at them, a lot of us can't tell what is going on inside. They tend to have an emotionally neutral flavor. Like if you pick up on their vibe and the energy they're giving off, a lot of times it's emotionally neutral. And that does make them one of the people that's really good to go to for advice. But for people who, maybe have a lot of Aries placements, maybe have a lot of Scorpio placements, those types of people tend to want intensity and emotion, and they might take the Moon and Gemini behavior for granted at times. Even though I still think, since it's opposite to them in a lot of ways, it's an important energy for you as an Aries person or Scorpio person. It's an important energy for you to have in your life. It's important for you to get feedback from these types of people who aren't, always emotionally hot and heavy, and can be a little bit more objective and can bring that neutrality in and help balance you out a little bit more. I think variety in the types of friends and family members we have is so important and so valuable. So I talked about the poker face, I talked about the deep conversation and how it seems like sometimes they act on whims even though there was a lot of thought behind it, and how adaptable they are, how sometimes it means they make sacrifices for other people, and how so many of them come from families that had split custody. So I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. And I hope you got something positive out of that video. Let me know in the comments below. I love reading comments because it makes me feel like I'm not alone when I'm making videos. Seeing the number of people who watch my videos does not mean anywhere near as much as seeing comments and really knowing that a human watched my video and they had specific thoughts and feelings about it. I want to know who you are watching my video. I want to know what kind of person you are. So if you're willing to leave a comment, please do. I love reading them. And check out the links below for information about readings I have, social media. I'm definitely on Facebook unless something bad happens, which I hope it never does, and all that kind of stuff. And I hope to see you again. Bye.